My brothers and sisters, you are now watching The Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need. And I hope you enjoy the video. If my memory serves me correctly, this game was first revealed back at the Spike TV VGAs in 2011. And I couldn't explain it at the time, but something about this game just automatically had my attention. One of the things that had my attention, I seen it was being made by Naughty Dog, the makers of Uncharted, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, and this was a really different approach for them. They've never made a post-apocalyptic game like this. So when I seen it was being made by them, it automatically intrigued me. So, then we go to E3 2012 to where they showed gameplay, and that's when I really was like, yo, this game is going to be something special. I was saying this game is game of the year since E3 2012, and then, for me doing multiple videos about this game, to doing skits about this game, to entering contests about this game. I bought God of War Ascension partly because it came with early access to the demo for this game. So you take in all that stuff, and then it leads up until the release date of The Last of Us, to where I finally got it inside of a sweet brother's hands, and that was a special moment, but The Last of Us is out. People have been playing it. This game has been getting a lot of praise, a lot of hype, and people are asking, does this game really deserve it? Is The Last of Us really that good? Well, I'm here to tell you, my brothers and sisters, The Last of Us, is it worth the 60 bones? So Naughty Dog decides to grace the PS3 with one last game to go out with for this generation of gaming, and it's called The Last of Us. A post-apocalyptic game to where the story takes place during a time of an outbreak across the US. There is a fungal infection called cordyceps, and I found it interesting. Cordyceps is a real-life fungal infection that actually exists, but it only infects insects. But it had me thinking, dude, one day if this junk was to one day mutate or evolve and go to humans, son, like we could have a real life The Last of Us, bro. So it was really interesting to see how the infection in The Last of Us was based on something that actually did exist in the real world, and it gave the story even more of a realistic feel to it. So that was very interesting to me. You play as a guy named Joel, and he used to remember what the world used to be like. He was just like us. He had to worry about paying his bills on time, or have to wake up in the morning and go to work even if he did not want to go to work. And now in this new apocalyptic world to where it's all about survival, Joel really is trying to learn the ropes and how to function in this new world. And his partner in crime, Ellie, is the complete opposite. She's grown up in this world, is really all she knows. She has little to no memory at all of how the world used to be, and it just shows you the two differences between these two characters. But yet the story of The Last of Us is so heavily based between the relationship of Joel and Ellie that as it unfolds and as their relationship gets stronger throughout the adventure in The Last of Us, it's just beautiful to watch.
You're gonna want to get another round in there quick. Listen to me. If I get into trouble down there, you make every shot count.
Voice acting wise, I put this game, if not the best voice acting in a video game, it's probably up there with Metal Gear Solid. Like, the voice acting in this game is some of the best voice acting I have ever seen. From the character development to how you have an emotional attachment between each and every character. It's so rare to see that in games today that when you do see it, it's just beautiful to watch and beautiful to play. Like, sometimes you feel like you're watching a movie, sometimes you feel like you're playing a game, sometimes you feel like you're in the game. It's just not a lot of games have that today, and when you finally play a game that offers that, it's just beautiful to play. So I was just soaking in all of that stuff. And but moving back to the infected, normally in games like this to where you have quote unquote zombies, zombies, they were people that were dead before, came back to life, and now they're trying to eat you. The infected, they're so much more realistic. These were people like you and me. They were still alive, got infected, and then they started to change into these aggressive zombified creatures, but they're still alive. And like the first stage of the infected, which are called runners, you know, they're the first stage of the infected. So, you know, they're freshly infected, and you'll hear the runners, you know, moaning and screaming because the people are trying to actually fight off the infection, but the cordyceps, it takes over the brain and their functions, and they can't control themselves. And it's like, you wasn't just killing off the infected like they were dead people. These are literally people being tortured while still alive, and they can't control themselves. And you know, as the infection gets worse, it starts to grow out of the brain, and it takes over, you know, their face and stuff like that. And that's when we get to the clickers. The clickers are blind. You know, you see the fungal infection like all over their face, and they can't see, so they make these clicking noises to get around. They kind of use echolocation like bats do. So when you're around clickers, you know, the entire mood of the game just changes. You know, you have to get down, you know, try to avoid the clickers and stuff like that. And it's just the infected in this game. It is nothing like I've ever experienced before. Not only were you scared of them, but you had to like play smart, because if you didn't play smart, especially with clickers, they're a one-hit kill. If they get close to you, you're dead. So you gotta play it smart. And the infected in this game were just so, it was just so beautiful. Everything in this game was beautiful. So now we're moving on to the humans. Not only are the infected enemies in a world like this, to where it's all about survival, you got people fighting over a loaf of bread, you know, a gun or something. They're fighting for anything. So the humans are even a bigger threat than the infected, because the humans, you know, they're still alive, and when you're going against the humans, you know, they'll try to team you up and flank you and stuff like that. So you really have to play it smart. And the differences between the humans and the infected, it completely changes, you know, the gameplay of the game. That it's just, I've never seen this done in a game before. It's just so beautiful to play that it's just crazy. The story for this game, hands down, one of the best stories I've ever played. One of the best stories I've ever played. So let's move on to the gameplay. Do not play this game like you're playing your typical run and gun type game. Do not play this game like you're playing, I don't know, Call of Duty. Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you play the game like that, you will die. Well, it depends on what difficulty you play on. If you play on easy mode with listen mode on, then maybe you can play a run and gun type game. But if you play it on hard mode with no listen mode in this sucker, like a brother did, dude, you cannot play this game run and gun style. It's really a stealth type game. You have to take your time. And you know, when you're fighting the infected, it's much different to where when you're fighting humans. Humans, they'll use teamwork and communication, and they'll try to flank you and stuff like that. The infected, it all slows down. You know, you're hearing the infected in the background. You're scared because it's dark. You don't know what's around this corner, what's around that corner. You think that someone is behind you, but it's just nothing. They're like everything, like the gameplay, the mood of the gameplay just really differs between when you're fighting the infected and when you're fighting the humans. And this was talked about before this game came out. Some people thought that the gameplay might be scripted, that like the AI will always, you know, respond to how where they show the gameplay at E3 or Gamescom, or no, the gameplay is not scripted at all. It all depends on the way you play. Some of the things that the AI did when they showed The Last of Us gameplay at E3, it might not happen to when you're playing the game. It all depends on the way you play the game, and that's what I love about it. This gameplay is so tense. Like, it's always tense. You always just feel like what the frick is gonna happen next? Like, you always just feel tense, and that's what I love about the game, because not a lot of games have like tense gameplay after tense gameplay, and that's what I love about the game. There are some flaws though. You know, the whole combat system is good, but sometimes you will kind of see some glitches. Like, you might be hiding behind a desk, and you know, enemy is coming by you, and then you try to attack it, and like your first two punches might not do nothing, and then they'll be just standing there just watching you, and then you'll start to attack them, and then it'll finally start to actually register the hits and stuff like that. Sometimes the AI, they might not see your partner. That's one thing that I really did not like. Ellie, she always gets spotted. Always gets spotted. But at least to me, I don't think the AI respond to where when they just see your partner. They only respond to where they see you, because clearly Ellie has gotten caught so many times when I played this game, and the enemy was just like, where's this guy? Like, I'm just like, do you not see Ellie? She's right there. So I didn't like that. It kind of took away from the stealth aspect of this game. The gameplay is not perfect, but again, there's so much good about this game that it outweighs all the flaws that you see in this game. So the gameplay is great. So let's move on to that online multiplayer though. You know, people were asking, dude, why is Naughty Dog being so secretive about their multiplayer in The Last of Us? Because really, all we knew was that The Last of Us was going to have a multiplayer, but we didn't see anything about the junk, and it really took the multiplayer getting leaked, and then they finally released a trailer for the multiplayer, but we really didn't know anything about the multiplayer until we finally played it for ourselves. And I gotta tell you, dude, first off, I knew the multiplayer wasn't going to be tacked on. I knew it wasn't going to be like Tomb Raider's multiplayer, because you know, when Naughty Dog say that they're going to do something, you know they're going to take their time with it. So I knew it was going to be, you know, not a tacked on multiplayer. I just didn't expect it to be this good. The multiplayer, it really works well. You know, my issue was, how are they going to have The Last of Us and multiplayer work well? And you know, it really works well. It's very strategic, very teamwork based. You know, it kind of has that SOCOM feel to it, kind of the Ghost Recon feel to it, kind of the Uncharted feel to it, kind of the Gears of War feel to it, but it all works well. You can still craft weapons online, you know, and it's very teamwork based. You know, it's not a run and gun type game. It's a really slow paced game, but it really works well. And I did not think that I knew it wasn't going to be a tacked on multiplayer, but there'll be times where I'm playing the multiplayer for up to an hour or two. Like, it's that good. The multiplayer definitely has replay value to it. The only issue, it only has 2 modes as of right now, and I really hope, and I think this might be a DLC in the future, I hope they can add a horde mode to where like you're playing with your friends and you just fight wave after wave of infected. That would be a great mode to have, and they'll probably add that in a DLC in the future. But great maps, it takes teamwork, it's very strategic and stuff like that. It really works well. I actually love the multiplayer for this game, and you know, so it was great. Story was great. Gameplay is intense, you know. The online multiplayer definitely will have you playing. It has replay value to that. So everything was good about this game. And you know, your question is, okay, gamer, you told me you loved this game. You know, it got some flaws, but what's your score, my brother? Is it worth the 60 bones? Is probably what you're asking right now. Well, I paid $80 for this game because I bought the survival edition, okay? But I'm telling you right now, if you have a PlayStation 3 and you do not have this game, step 1, slap yourself. Step 2, go outside right now and get it. The Last of Us, I give it a hands down 10 out of 10. This game is one of, if not the best exclusive PlayStation 3 has to offer. You know, it's one of those games to where once you beat it, you're definitely going to want to play it again to experience the story. The online multiplayer is great, stuff like that. This is definitely a game that is a classic, one of Naughty Dog's best games. If this turns into a franchise or a series, this can overtake Uncharted, you know. So The Last of Us, 10 out of 10. If you have a PS3 and you don't have this game yet, go get it, okay? This game is game of the year material. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The Last of Us review, it's a wrap in this sucker. Okay, so saying that, I hope you guys enjoyed my review, and I'm out.